Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today for the drawing video of this Pink-Striped Amaryllis Bouquet. I am drawing this using Prismacolor and Polychromos pencils on Rising Museum Mount board. And you can see me here just starting to work on the stamens for the main flower. I like to go ahead and draw the stamens in first because I think it's easier to get them drawn in and work around them than to try to leave bits of the white paper and come back to them later. So I always like to get them in first, although I will warn you that they tend to look a little weird until you have the rest of the flower drawn in around them. So keep that in mind. They're going to look maybe a bit unfinished or even cartoonish, but once the rest of the flower is drawn in around them, they will blend in better and start to look more realistic. The first part of this video is going to be moving a little slower just because I want you to be able to see my layering process and how I am working through these initial layers, and then I'm going to kind of go back and forth between speeding through some and slowing down in parts just so I can describe in a little more detail exactly what I'm doing. But these first layers are just what I think of as the blocking in process. And here you can see me starting to work on the base for this first petal. And I'm using a combination of the Prismacolor Pomegranate and also the Prismacolor 70% Gray because I wanted this color, but I wanted it to be a lot darker. I want to make sure it looks like the center of this petal is a little deeper. I'm wanting to create as much of a 3D effect as I can. So in order to do that, I need those colors to be a bit darker. Using a really sharp number 3 Polychromos to work on the shadows, and then I'll come over that gray pencil with my greens. And the reason I do this is because I don't have a green in any of my sets that's really dark enough to get the darkest green that I need for the drawing. So that's why I work with the gray. And here you can see me using a white pencil to protect the paper on the areas that I want to maintain a brighter white highlight or where I want a lighter color, so kind of the opposite of putting the gray down. So there with that green, I wanted it to be a bit brighter, so I added some white in first. The other thing that the white pencil does when you lay it down first is it allows you to come back later, much later, and use an eraser to pull up some bright highlights. And that's not going to be as easy to do if you don't have a layer of the white pencil down first. So a lot of foundational work goes into my drawings, and then things start to move a lot faster. When I come through with the mid-tone colors, I'm usually able to get those layers done really quickly because I've created a base with the shadows and the highlights and blocking in areas with the white pencils, and then the mid-tones just go on pretty quickly and things move fast from there. But all of this initial work has to be done first in order for that to happen. It's just slowly building up layers of color. I was using spring green and apple green from Prismacolor. I also used a little bit of dark green, but the darker green areas you see, that's because I used that dark gray pencil first. So moving on, I'm working on the second petal for this flower, and I just want to point out the process that I used for all of these petals. And the first thing I did was to establish those veins in the petal using a light gray pencil. And then I went over those lines using my pink pencils, and that is the Middle Purple Pink from Polychromos. And now I'm working with my Prismacolor. That's the Cool Gray 20%. I used the 10, 20, and 30% grays in the petals themselves, and then I used the 70% gray in the shadow areas. And even though this flower is pink with white, you have to use gray in there in order to establish some shape. The shadow is what gives these petals their shape, along with the curve to these lines. I'm wanting to create a bend in this petal, and so I have to bend the veins in that direction, and that combined with the gray and the shadows works together to create shape for this petal. Now you can see me using the process red. I put some pomegranate in there. I just dotted it around. I don't want those vein lines to be just solid lines. I'm looking for more of a staccato or a broken line, so I put just dots and dashes. I'm using the Archival Oils odorless solvent to blend this one. If you've watched many of my videos, you know that I always blend with solvent, and my go-to has always been the Gamsol odorless mineral spirits. But for my Patreon page, I tried out some different solvents because Gamsol is not available all over the world. So I just wanted to see if some of these other solvents worked the same way as my Gamsol, and this one definitely did. In fact, out of I think I tried maybe 6 or 7 different solvents, and they all worked exactly the same. So you're looking for some kind of odorless mineral spirits, odorless paint thinner, solvent. Those are the words you're going to be looking for to find something to blend your pigment, or what it actually does is dissolve the pigment on the paper, so just creates a really nice smooth painterly look. And now I'm moving through the rest of the drawing basically the same way. I'm establishing the shape of those veins with the really light cool grays, and then I'm going back over with the Middle Purple Pink, the pomegranate, and process red. Also, you'll see me using some light magenta from Polychromos in there. And then I will come back through and add some gray pencil and some white pencil. All of those things working together to give shape to these petals. Blending that all out. I also used the electric eraser quite a bit to add texture. I can pull up bits of white, and again, part of the reason I'm able to get the white that bright is because I had a layer of white underneath there first. If you just use the eraser on top of several layers of the pink color, you're not really going to get a bright white when you use the eraser. You're going to get more of just a lighter pink, and that is okay. Some places are lighter pink and some places are brighter white depending on where you put the white pencil down. So it's not that one is wrong, it's just depending on what you're going for. So to make something look really realistic, I like a combination of both. I used a lot of that Prismacolor white pencil in this drawing. In fact, it went from being a pretty new pencil to almost a stub. I was also using the Polychromos white in areas that I wanted some sharper lines and detail to show through. If you actually indent the paper with the white pencil, then when you go over with your color, it won't stick in those areas that you indent. So that's another technique you can use when you're establishing your base with the white pencils. And this set of petals back here are probably just the underneath side of a flower. Slow down just a little bit more here so you can see what I'm doing. This is an example of just draw what you see. It was sort of all over the place, and so I just had to really be careful to, again, make sure that the veins were going in the right direction. I also brought in some raw umber to mimic the look that I was seeing on the reference image. And most of the underneath of this flower I'm working on here is just done in grays and greens, but I did add a bit of the pink just to pull it all together, give it some consistency with the rest of the drawing. Using the electric eraser once again to add texture. I'm really just adding lots of little dots and dashes. And of course, lots of layers. Just basically keep working on it until you're happy with it. I could work on these drawings for 100 more hours. There's always something more you can do. You just have to get it to a point where you like it and then move on. You can always come back and keep working on something later. Doing one more petal, again, just following that exact same process. Once you figure out a strategy for how you want to draw something like this, then you really can just keep doing the same thing over and over and you get faster. I'm sure I drew this particular petal in probably half the time it took me to draw the first petal, just because I'm getting a feel for the colors and the paper and just the drawing itself and how everything's going to work together. Here's another set of those stamens, and again, I'm just getting those drawn in first. So that area that I was just working on is not finished. I'm waiting for the solvent to dry. So while I'm waiting, I'm working on another area, which I sometimes do. Sometimes I take a break or sometimes I work on something else. But using this type of paper, the museum mount, I would wait 15 to 20 minutes after I blend with solvent before I would go back and work on that paper. I like the paper to be completely dry before I go back over for my next layers, because otherwise the pencil tip sort of starts to dissolve into the paper because the Gamsol or the solvent that you're using is still wet, so it just starts to dissolve the tip of the pencil. And you could use that probably to your benefit if you wanted to, depending on the techniques. So again, all of these things it's not necessarily that one thing is right or wrong, but for the way I work, I like things to be completely dry before I come back through with my next layers. And then I'm finally working on the leaves and stem for this one. There is not much detail in these at all, so I did my best to pull out any possible detail that I could see. So just trying to get a few veins in there, but I really just work through with the same pencils that I worked on the center petals, the spring green and apple green. I also brought in some Kelly green and a little bit of dark green, and I think I used the Polychromos pine green, which is really good for getting the sharp edges. And here is my completed drawing. If that moved way too fast for you and you would like to see me draw this in real time, you can sign up for my drawing tutorials over on Patreon. and that is currently $7 a month for, I think there are over 300 videos over there now. So check that out if you're interested, and otherwise I will be back next week with another video here on YouTube. All right, bye everybody.